peace. And thank you for coming back. In the last tape we talked about Moosaw, when he was summoned by Allah, in order to receive the Torah. So, when Moosaw came back to his people, he found his people were worshipping a statue of a calf, made of jewelries, despite witnessing all those 9 miracles. Moosaw got so angry, and threw down the Torah, and took hold of his brother's head, pulling him toward himself. Harun said, "O son of my mother, do not pull me by my beard and my head." When Harun said son of my mother, that means they were brothers through their mother, and they had 2 different fathers. So he was his step-brother, but unlike Yusuf's step-brothers, these 2 brothers liked each other. Quran is telling us that Moosaw and Harun were both prophets, and they were among the nation of Ibrahim, from their mother's side. In other words, their mother was the one who was a descendant of the sons who will be transported by Allah, Bani Israel. So, Harun continued by saying to Moosaw, "I was afraid that you might say, 'You have divided the nation of Ibrahim, and disobeyed my orders.'" And he continued by saying that, "Son of my mother, the people took advantage of my weakness, and they almost killed me. Let not my enemies rejoice, and do not count me with the transgressing people." Apparently, there were some true believers among his people, whom they did not like others falling into an idol worship. And Harun did not want them to be divided. He forgot about the rule of submission, that there is no compulsion in religion. If some people make a decision that they do not want to be in Allah's system, let them be. We just have to be worried about our own neck. So he shouldn't have to fear them, and compromised with them. We are here to please Allah alone, and no one else. When Moosaw's anger subsided, he picked up the Torah, containing guidance and blessings. That means, the Torah was not written on pieces of stones, yet it must have been in some kind of leaves or paper. And then he said, "My Lord, forgive me, and my brother, and admit us into your mercy. You are the merciful among all the merciful ones." Then Moosaw burned that statue of a calf, and threw it into the sea. This shows at that time they were still by the sea. Then Quran says, Moosaw took 70 men from his people in order to meet with us, and then they were punished by an earthquake. Moosaw said, "My Lord, you could have annihilated them in the past together with me, if you so willed. This must be a test for us. With it, you condemn whomever you will, and guide whomever you will." Notice it said, Moosaw took 70 men with him. If it was in our time, I am sure they would have forced him to take some women, and some gays, and lesbians with him. You see how our society changed just within the past 70 or 80 years. We disturbed Allah's balance, and we are incurring the consequences, but the worst is yet to come. Allah's system never changes. Then his people wanted to see Allah. Then they got hit by lightning. Then again Allah forgave them. Here is a piece of information. Lightning strikes the earth with an electrical discharge of approximately 100 million volts. That is a lot of energy. Thankfully, 80% of lightning is considered cloud-to-cloud lightning, and never strikes the earth. But the 20% of discharges between the ground and a cloud are the most hazardous. From 1959 to 1994, lightning killed 3,239 people in US alone. Few years back, astronauts were seeing so many sparkles of lights over the Earth's atmosphere while they were circling the Earth. But they used to think that they were comets hitting the atmosphere of the Earth. That is why they were exploding, so they would not reach the Earth. Just like that comet exploded on Russia's sky recently. Allah calls our atmosphere the protected ceiling. That is why comets explode when they reach our atmosphere. Allah be glorified. But, now with the grace of Allah, we know about those lightning. We have 100 lightning strikes per second on Earth. That would be 3.6 trillion per year. And without these lightning, we would not be alive, and there would be no growth on our foods and vegetations. Do you know why? One of the 6 elements in our body is made of nitrogen. Well, 78% of the air we breathe is nitrogen. But our body cannot just grab the nitrogen from the air. Now here is the awesomeness of our Creator. Every time a lightning bolt goes to the atmosphere, takes out most of the nitrogens that is in the air, and crystallize the nitrate, which they are kind of heavy, and they start falling towards the earth with rain. And nitrate is a natural fertilizer for plants. And at the time of lightning, there are more nitrates coming down, because of electricity from the lightning. And rain brings them down to the soil. Then soil gets excited and joyful, like dancing, in the rain. Then plants observe the nitrate from the soil, and cause them to grow. And when we eat those fruits, vegetables, and grains, then our body absorbs the nitrogen, so we can live, and grow up, so as other creatures. Allah be glorified. That is why Allah orders more rains in springtime. Because that is the time plants have permission from Allah to start growing and blooming. You wonder that why Allah does not call the water in the oceans, or rivers, or tap water, as blessed water. Yet He calls the rainwater as blessed water. The reason Allah calls it Ma'i Mubarak, meaning blessed water, it is because it is not just H2O, yet it is water with fertilizer in it. It is the nutritional water. That is why plants get excited, and move, rejoice, and grow after the rain, than after tap water. So, more rain, more fertilizers, for plants. Subhanallah. The other reason that Allah calls it a blessed water is in chapter 15. It says, "And we send the winds as pollinators, and cause water to come down from the sky for you to drink. Otherwise, you could not keep it palatable." That means, winds spread the pollens on the air, and then rain catches them, and brings them down and spread it on to the plants. We should all fall prostrate after this knowledge coming down to us from Allah. This is how Allah's system of creation works. It is the perfect system of creation. Therefore, we did not need to manufacture chemical fertilizers for our farms. Couple of months ago, one of the big manufacturer of fertilizers, blown up in Waco, Texas, and killed 15 people and injured 160. For 40 years, this company was feeding us poison chemicals, and caused so many people's death, and caused so many kinds of diseases. Then their manufacturer wiped out. If this was not of an act of terrorism, then I do not know what is. Just imagine, if we did not have those fertilizer manufacturers, the Oklahoma City bombing probably would not have happened, and those 168 people would not have to be dead. These are the disasters that we brought upon ourselves, with our own hands, because we disturbed Allah's balance. Then, we catch a guy, and say, he did it. Are you kidding? And we made atomic bomb, and killed 90,000 and injured 166,000 people, and blocked Allah's system, and then we said, bravo hooray. This big garden, which was given to us as a temporary dwelling, has an owner and ruler. Therefore, we should respect the house rule. Otherwise there would be a painful consequences. As the Arabic Quran says, the soil belongs to Allah, the blessed water belongs to Allah, the seeds belongs to Allah. Then, how dare you call yourself a farmer? That is why Surah number 13, in the Arabic Quran, named the thunder, and we hear thunder right after each lightning strikes. Surah 13th is the 96th surah revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Do you remember the name of the surah 96th? The embryo. That was the first surah revealed to him. Do you remember the first ayah? It says, in the name of your Lord, who created. Thank Allah for creating for us, and all of other creatures, all these pastures, plants, forests, fruits, vegetations, grains and provisions. Praise be to Allah, the best creator. Now we read from Surah 13. The thunder. He is the one who shows you the lightning as a source of fear, as well as hope, and he initiates the loaded clouds. The thunder praises his glory, and so do the angels, out of reverence for him. He sends the lightning bolts, which strike in accordance with his will. Yet, they argue about Allah, though his power is awesome. Therefore, the thunder announces the good news of lightning. Then, clouds, carrying the loads of blessed rain, nutrition, and growth, for all the creatures on earth. So if you hear a thunder, or saw a lightning, thank Allah for his immense blessings. Back to our story. Then the nation of Abraham got to Mecca, which at that time, they used to call it Canaan, or the Promised Land, or the Sacred Land. At that time, all so-called religions, or, as Allah called them, parties, were going to visit Canaan, or, in Arabic, pronounces Can-on, which was built by Abraham and his son, Ismail, and now we call it Mecca. Then they were asked to enter the sacred land of Mecca, prostrating. Moosaw told them, let us do the Hajj pilgrimage, but Bani Israel refused to enter, and they feared the mighty people in it. So, only Moosaw and his brother, Harun, entered the city of Mecca. This ayah is saying, fall prostrate, whenever you get to Mecca. Finally Moosaw hated his people, the nation of Abraham. The sons will be transported by Allah, whom Allah saved them from Pharaoh's aggression. So Moosaw asked Allah to separate him and his brother from them, because they became wicked people. That is why I have been telling the nation of Abraham, you better watch out. And among all those nation of Abraham, only Moosaw and his brother were saved, and the rest of them wandered aimlessly on earth for 40 years, and that was a big loss. Just imagine, Moosaw showed them 9 miracles by the will of Allah, and they watched them with their own eyes. And they followed him so many years, yet they forgot all about those signs, and they rejected the Torah as well. Those 9 signs which were shown to them, they were actually showing us Allah's power. Through the Quran, we read about Allah's power, that any time he says, be, then it will become. Moosaw's cane becomes a serpent, the ocean splits, and so on. The word human, in Arabic language is, insan, and its root word is, nasiya, meaning to forget. That is why when we come to this world, we do not remember anything. It is good that we forget disasters in our life, but it is not good to forget Allah's blessings. The duration of that event could have been taken 20 to 30 years. So they forgot as time went by. Then later on, at the time of Dawood, the nation of Abraham became arrogant again, to the point that they were cursed by the tongue of Dawood. The nation of Abraham have been traveling all over the world, ever since 4,000 years ago, and Allah is the only one who could bring them back together, anytime he wishes. Quran is telling us that they would turn up to be the wicked people, every time a messenger went to them. Can you imagine, these are the same people whom Allah preferred them above all the other people in the world, by sending them messengers, scriptures, and signs? So you better watch out, O Bani Israel. I just wanted to share with you my findings of hikmah in the Arabic Quran. Do not waste your time on translations as I wasted 17 years of my life. I took the provision of this life, and work for hereafter. Now you are going to see the ayat of the Arabic Quran. Until the next tape, peace.